You're probably staring at a dozen mattress options online, wondering if you're about to waste a few $100s on something that'll just flop after a few weeks. I get that, especially when you've got a bedroom that's already cramped and a back that's been sending you signals for years. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and in the next few minutes I'll walk through exactly why the Nectar Premier 13-inch caulking might be the one that actually fits your nighttime routine, and when it's better to keep scrolling. First off, the biggest fear most of us share is ending up with a mattress that feels just okay but never quite hits that sweet spot of support and temperature control. The Nectar Premier tries to address that by adding an extra inch of contouring memory foam over its classic predecessor, which the company says translates to double the pressure relief. In practice, that extra layer means a side sleeper who usually wakes up with a sore hip will feel a little less of that degingen sensation, while a back sleeper gets a subtle cradle that keeps the spine from flattening out too hard. If you've ever tossed and turned because the mattress was too hot, the 60% more cooling claim is worth a closer look. How does the cooling claim hold up in a real bedroom? The foam is infused with gel-based cooling technology that spreads heat more efficiently than a standard memory foam core. In a typical summer night, I've noticed the surface temperature dropping a couple of degrees compared to an older foam mattress, which is enough to keep the sweaty night sweats at bay without turning the bed into an icebox. It's not a climate control system, but for a room that runs around 72 F, the extra breathability makes the difference between waking up feeling sticky or staying comfortably neutral. The setup is as simple as it gets. The mattress arrives compressed in a box, and you just roll it out onto the frame of your choice. There's no need for a special foundation, a standard platform or box spring works fine. Within a few hours the foam expands fully, and you're ready to test it out. That convenience is a hidden win for anyone who doesn't want to wrestle a bulky mattress up a narrow stairwell or spend a weekend assembling a box spring hybrid. Now, let's talk about the perfect support for any position tagline. The medium firm feel lands right in the middle of the hardness spectrum, which is why it can accommodate side, back, and even stomach sleepers without feeling too soft or too rigid. For a couple sharing a caulking, the wide surface area gives each partner enough room to sprawl without feeling cramped, and the contouring foam adapts to each body's shape individually. I've seen couples where one partner prefers a softer feel and the other likes a firmer surface. The Premier's balance often satisfies both without the need for a dual firmness mattress. If you suffer from chronic back pain, the extra inch of pressure-relieving foam is a focal point. The foam's ability to sink in just enough to cradle the lumbar region reduces the pressure points that typically aggravate the lower back. People who have tried firmer inner springs often report waking up with a stiff back. The Premier's medium-firm contour tends to keep that stiffness at bay, especially if you already have a decent pillow to support your neck. That said, there are a few practical trade-offs. The memory foam, even with the cooling infusion, can retain a faint scent for a day or two after unpacking. It's not a chemical burn, just a typical new foam smell that dissipates with a bit of ventilation. Also, because the mattress is fairly thick, 13 inches, getting it onto a low-profile frame can be a little tricky. You might need a helper or a small ramp to slide it in without bending. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's worth noting if you're in a tight apartment with low ceilings. Another point to consider is motion isolation. The dense foam layers do an excellent job of dampening movement, so if you share the bed with a restless partner, you're less likely to feel their midnight flips. In my experience, the transfer of motion is barely perceptible, which is a solid advantage over many spring mattresses that tend to bounce. However, that same density means the mattress is a bit heavier to move once it's fully expanded, something to keep in mind if you anticipate rearranging furniture frequently. Who should buy the Nectar Premier? If you're a side or back sleeper who values a balance between contouring comfort and a cooler night, this model fits nicely. It's also a good match for couples who need a spacious caulking but don't want the one side too soft, the other side too firm problem. People with mild to moderate back pain will likely appreciate the pressure relief layer, especially when paired with a supportive pillow. If you're a budget-driven shopper who can't stretch beyond a mid-range price point, the Premier still offers a lot of value because you get the extra cooling and